you talked to, on your show, the Alex Marlow show, which everyone should listen to and watch, you talked to Josh Hawley. What did Josh Hawley have to say about yesterday?
Yeah, he was really hot about this bill and saying that every Democrat is going to vote for it, which was kind of the most surprising moment of it. It was that he said that this is a Democrat bill, basically. And it had me wondering whether or not Speaker Johnson is just committing seppuku right now. That's the Japanese ritualistic suicide, where you go in with the blade and you kind of cut a triangle out of your guts, and then you're just dead dead after that. Yeah, he said he's jamming it down people's throats, hugely harmful to President Trump. Trump is going to get screwed by all this. There's not one element of the bill where they cut government, they just expand government. All the stuff we hate, all the stuff we've been talking about for the last year or two still remains in there. And it's interesting because there's even a little emotion. He's a really intellectual guy and someone who's trying to get a lot done in Washington. And he's saying this is a dumpster fire, this is an embarrassment. It's kind of wild that that's going on. That you would not have thought this was possible a couple hours before this thing was released.
I think to that last point you just made, I was taken back a bit by Rand Paul, who said, I hope to see Speaker Johnson grow a spine, but this bill full of pork shows he's a weak man. Like, they're not holding back on their statements on Speaker Johnson.
Yeah, we had the same take. I was stunned by that Rand Paul tweet because Rand Paul, again, is pretty metered, pretty measured. I mean, he's smart, so he understands sometimes theatrics gets attention, but he is not prone to that sort of language. So there's something going on with Speaker Johnson. He's, I don't know what it is, but obviously there's something that is not meeting the eye for many of us, because he's hanging out with Trump, they're going to UFC fights, he's hanging out with Musk.
Totally.
Yeah, and then he comes out and he does this Democrat bill right in all of our faces, and it just
I said the exact same thing earlier. I was like, he was like the cool kid for a good couple weeks at the UFC. He was at the Army Navy game. I thought I saw him in the background hanging out with. He's in the cool gang, and still doesn't play ball here. I don't get it. Now we talked to Tom Tiffany, Congressman, and Ron Johnson, both from Wisconsin. And I said, what happened here? What's going on? I said, why does he need Democrat support? I don't get that. I keep hearing Johnson say we need Democrat support. It's like, why? What are we talking about? You're the majority, was it? And they both said, independently of each other, that there are some Republicans who are dead set against voting for a continuing resolution, no matter what. So it's their fault that we have to go to the Democrats at all. I've never heard that before, and I don't think I love that explanation.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, but I can't. I'm trying to do this, turn my brain to a pretzel. I'm trying to think it through right now. But going to the Democrats because you need to pull off a John Fetterman or a Kristen Sinema or something, that's totally different than a bill that every Democrat is going to support, and a few Republicans, maybe, I don't know, 60, 80 Republicans, I don't know what the number would be, are going to support. So it just we didn't need that. We have a mandate, I thought. I guess not. Maybe we don't have a mandate. Maybe we got nothing.
Are you more discouraged by what happened yesterday, by the fact that it was even put forward like this, or are you more encouraged by the fact that it got shot down?
What do you think? You know me well enough. Can you guess my opinion?
I'm going to say you are. Oh, this is a good game. I'm going to say you are, this is also partly because, it's 5 a.m. where you are.
Sure.
It's kind of early, so maybe you're a bit sleepy here, but I'm going to say you are in a discouraged mood.
I'm not discouraged. No. This is typical. I spent a lot of time in Washington, so no. I know this is what happens, and it's a bummer in a way, but it's also we have to expect this. We always get let down. It's always a letdown, and it is how you feel about it doesn't really matter. It's sort of I was very encouraged by how quickly people were fired up about it. The funniest thing is Musk, and everyone's acting like Musk killed the bill. No, Musk came out and said, we're going to vote against everyone in 2 years. And then everyone was dunking on Musk online saying, no, we're voting against it now. We're stopping this thing, and then we're going to kick out Johnson. And then Musk goes, oh yeah, that's what we want. We're gonna vote against it now. We're gonna stop it now. And he just completely does a 180 in his position. And then all the headlines come out, oh, Musk is really the president. He really killed the bill. No, that's not what's going on. He got dunked on by his own people on the X platform because we all understand this thing. We've been down this road a lot. We get disappointed by everyone. And it's fine with me because I knew Johnson was not the guy. I could tell from the beginning. I was hopeful with him showing up at UFC with Trump that Trump must think he's genuine and must think that he wants to get the job done. But if you played any of his press conference yesterday, he was doing the same stuff as every typical politician. He even said at one point that he said that people were complaining because they hadn't read the bill. Yeah, of course we hadn't read the bill. 1,500 pages, and we only have a day and a half to read it before it passes. So he's just a swamp creature, and we'll have to tolerate him for a little bit, but he's not the guy. We need a better guy.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in that. But Boyle's always right, and Boyle called that way before I did. I wanted to give him way more grace, but
Boyle's not always right, but I think we could have seen this one.
Yeah, what a bummer. I guess my encouragement question is, do you think things will be different on January 6th and January 20th?
Ooh, good question. It's tough. It's a more narrow majority than we want. The change that look, we are Republicans. We are conservatives. We want gradual change that takes place over a period of time. That's never that fast. So it would be nice if everything was just cemented from the November election and the beautiful run up to it. But that's not how it's going to be. We're going to have to fight. We're going to fight with a lot of people. We're going to get let down. The media won't completely die. All of our usual stuff will still be there, just hopefully in a form that's not as intrusive on our lives as it was before. So it's just a great reminder. Maybe this will be great. Maybe this will be a great reminder to all of us, the realities of Washington, the realities of how challenging it is in this country to be the party of living in government.
Tell me about this part of the bill that was in there that's about censorship. J.D. Vance casually or vaguely mentioned it, and I had it here in front of me. Here it is, the State Department's Global Engagement Center. What is that, and why is that bad for Breitbart?
Yeah, it funds organizations that censor conservative media, including Breitbart specifically. So we uncovered this on page 139, so they threw it in there pretty early, the 1,537-page bill that was unveiled. There's others who are concerned about it. The Federalist was concerned. The Washington Examiner was concerned. They were all on this as well. This is where Matt Taibbi and this guy Gabe Kaminsky works in Washington Examiner and report on this quite a bit, that they funded free speech suppression efforts. So, and they're being sued by a couple entities as well. So they funded the GDI. This is the Global Disinformation Index, is a British group that's funded by a bunch of far left people that tries to blacklist conservatives and label all of us as misinformation. And they do this so that we can be censored by countries that don't have free speech, and we can be boycotted by countries that do have free speech but do have a lot of corporatism and advertisers, etc. And people rely on advertisers to make ends meet. So that's the goal. But people have looked into this, and obviously it's very partisan. The funding is partisan. The goals are partisan. I did a really long conversation on GDI in August with PragerU that is available if you guys can, use your favorite non-Google search engine, and you can find that. But it's controlled speech. What they do is they censor information, they censor education, they censor the news, they try to censor everything. It's one of the worst groups around, and Johnson funded it. So terrible. Or he wants to fund it. We can stop him.
Yeah, it's the State Department. That's pretty wild. But it goes to the State Department because it then funds a British organization. So we're funding a foreign.
Isn't that fun? That's how we do it. Yeah, we outsource the worst parts of our government now because our government it's not expensive enough. So we can't do the stuff ourselves. We gotta just outsource it. Yeah, State Department's Global Engagement Center is what ends up the agency that funds the GDI. That's correct.